Greetings! Welcome to another episode of Nina Williams in Depth, where your host, A Friendly Tree, is going to talk about one of Nina's moves. We're going to try and break it down and just help everyone's understanding of her moveset, her very vast moveset. Today I want to talk about her Rage Drive. So, this is one of the rare occasions where one of the settings I need to put on is Player Rage. And that's all. Everything else is already set up, so I'm happy with how everything's set up there. Why is it called her Rage Drive? It's called her Rage Drive because it's a universal mechanic that everyone except for the 2D characters in the game have, where while they're in Rage, they can use this special move that has a blue sort of aura around the character and gives unique properties, generally resulting in some kind of mix-up or resulting in a high level of damage. Sometimes a combo extension, sometimes a launcher, sometimes a wall splat. They've all got different properties. And we can see here that Nina's Rage Drive has a very interesting input because it's forward 2+3, down forward. Now, I think I should point out, forward 2+3 does the Rage Drive. So as long as you have Rage active, you can do this. So you can do this once per round with Nina. There's no way for you to do this more than once in a round. You can only do it when you're in Rage. You can see Nina has the red mark, or the red sort of glow around her. And what you do is you press forward 2+3. So I can be holding forward and press 2+3. I can be holding 2 and press forward +3. I can be holding 3 and press forward +2. Or I can be holding forward and 3, press 2, forward and 2, press 3. So there are a lot of different ways that you can press this, so you could buffer it. So you could do like a forward 3 and then do it straight away. You've got a lot of different options on how to input it. So you may be noticing something about the animation, and that's that it looks a lot like the Spiral Bombshell Blast. And that's because it pretty much is. Both of these are new moves that Nina got in Tekken 7. So one of them is essentially an enhanced version. And you'll see their startup is the same, but of course the damage is different. So the Rage Drive gives 50 damage, and you'll notice that's not scaled beyond 50 damage there. If we counter hit, it will still have counter hit properties though. And regardless, it'll still knock down on hit. It won't give you any kind of launcher or anything on counter hit. The knockdown properties are no different, it's just an increase in damage. The range is drastically large. So if we go back here, you can see we're looking at about range, I think it's about range 3.2. Yeah, 3.2. And while this move shares lots of unique lots of similar properties to the Spiral Bombshell Blast, you'll notice the startup frame's 20. It's the same, 2 active frames. The difference comes in the input. So this is a single input, forward 2+3 at the same time. So you can get this to actually come out in 20 frames, or 21 depending on if it's hitting meaty. While with the Spiral Bombshell Blast, you've got 3 separate inputs you need to put in, so you cannot get that to come out in 20 frames. So this is faster than Spiral Bombshell Blast, or it can be faster. Sharing properties with the other, with the Spiral Bombshell Blast, it does unfortunately have a bit of a shortcoming when it comes to range. So let's see if this is easy to demonstrate. Maybe we'll just sidestep. So you can see it's kind of linear. So we don't really want to use this against someone that's stepping a lot because of that. But obviously the further away we are, or just depending on the timing you use it, it's going to be easier or harder to step. So keep that in mind too. What else can we talk about with this move? Let's go into the down forward. So I said before the input is forward 2+3 down forward. And that's because that gives Nina this very unique forward sway. So this forward sway is different to her normal forward sway. You can see that she goes flying forward with it. Can you imagine if she had that forward sway normally? She'd close the gap in no time. But it has the same moves that come out of the forward sway. So you can do while standing, you can do quarter circle forward. Let's turn off that side step, that's annoying me. You can do the command throws, you can do the one break, down forward 1, and you can also do poison mist. Oh. So it's very similar to her normal forward sway. However, there's one distinct difference, and that's that you can actually cancel this one. So it's kind of weird to cancel, and if you check out one of my obscure tech videos, you can see that I do demonstrate that it is a true cancel. Nina recovers faster if you do the cancel, and she doesn't travel as far essentially. Unfortunately, she is left at frame disadvantage from doing this, but most people are going to be respectful of this move on block. As you can see with the frames on block, it's +9, but if you go into the sway, you're close to them instead of the crazy pushback, and you're at +20. So you're in a situation where you have a true mix-up that you can do on your opponent, although the lows are generally quite risky. But a lot of the time, it does set up a good mix-up. And that's what it is. It's a rage drive. It's about that comeback potential. Okay, what else can we talk about property-wise? Let's talk about combo potential. So, if we hit it normally, well, they just go flying. This is not a launcher. If we hit them in a combo, they also go flying. But if we hit them off axis, they don't go flying as far. So if you hit them off axis in the right way, oh my god, I did it the first time, guys. I didn't even sidestep that time. Ugh. Ah, screw it, we're using a different one. No. Wait, back to this. If you hit them off axis in the right way, we're going to do this. There. You do get guaranteed follow-ups, so you can use it mid-combo. But the easiest and most effective way to use this is really in wall carry. So let's look at the wall splat, the potential, and why this move has some good properties as a rage drive. Nina's always been known as the wall carry queen. I'm sure you've all heard that before. Let's say I get into the wall. Well, let's say I try and get into the wall just like this. Alright, so 80 damage. But what you can do, you can re-splat with that on the wall and get more damage. You can do better wall hits than that, don't worry. But that's just an example. Or it goes like that. So you could even do the launch straight into it, depending on the range you are from the wall. So there's a lot of potential for wall carry here, and what you can do with this that is a little bit nice. Oh my god, no! Because you can use it after a tailspin to get that easy wall carry. So you don't have to stress about a challenging follow-up, such as trying to get a perfect timing while running 3-4 or a dash up, quarter circle forward 1, or whatever you're trying to get for that max wall carry. This is an easier option because it's, like I said, it's like the while running 1+2. You can do it from running, so you can get it to come out just as easily, and it'll wall carry for you. So that's a nice little property it has. It does have some other things we need to talk about with the wall. So for example, it can wall splat like that. It can wall splat like that, so when they're already on the wall. But if I were to go like this, oh, let's just go. Actually, let's just go, oh, yikes. If I go like that, it won't wall splat. So you can't use it in a re-splat combo. I thought that would reach. Yeah, you can't use it in a re-splat combo. And in that kind of scenario, if you're looking for damage, you can use it in a wall combo without it getting a resplat, and you can get it to be unscaled. So if we look here, it's still scaled there, so 45 damage. But if I do it low, oops, let's get it to actually connect. Come on, come on. Ah, a little lower. Oh, wait, okay. So, like that. So what you can do is you can do it off something like that. So, yeah, okay, I can't do that on here, but you can do it. You can do it off like a sidestep one. Yikes. If you can do the input, guys. Yeah. And you can see how doing that opposed to doing like that. Sometimes it can be worth it, sometimes not. Come on, tree. God, I'm so bad at this. Whatever. So it can be used like that too. So it's got some pretty good properties, but it can only wall resplat once. You can time it so it does an unscaled hit. The last little thing related to the wall we need to talk about is guard wall. Chip damage. So not many moves in this game have chip damage. 2D characters have a couple. And characters with similar rage drives to Nina have chip damage too. So if we do this and they block it, total damage, 5, right? That is guaranteed damage near a wall. There's nothing they can do about that. If they block this move, they take 5 damage, and that can win a round. So, I mean, that's pretty threatening if they've got their back to the wall, isn't it? And I mean, not only that, you still get your mix-up, so that's a pretty good property. Alright, I'm going to change stage, and we're going to get on to application. One thing I should also mention before we go into application is, I did say it shares a lot of the properties with her while running 1+2, so please check out my video on that move, which includes things like talking about its low crush and the bug related to that too, where sometimes she can be floated while mid-air by lows. The startup frames are a bit finicky with this move, and it's the same with while running 1+2 and her rage drive, so be aware of that because it means it can be quite risky on approach. Anyway, how do we apply this move into our gameplay? I think I've already demonstrated a fair few examples of how we can do that here. Because you can only do it in rage, it's pretty much its comeback potential, okay? So this is one of her tools for insane comeback potential. And there's a lot of that in Tekken 7. And I think Nina's is pretty strong. In some ways it's one of the greatest tools for it, in some ways it's not so great. I'm happy with how it is, it's just the startup can be a little bit funny. Okay, so do we want to use this to KO the opponent, or do we want to use it to just get a mix-up? When you think about low life, if you're in low life, you'd want to hope that your opponent is in low life too, but sometimes that's not always the case. If that is not the case, you either want to use this move with the intention of getting a hit, because you can get a wall splat with it, or you get a lot of damage. You want to use it in a combo, such as off a counter hit forward 3, which is insane damage as well. Or, I suppose you want to use it and have them block it so you can get some kind of high reward mix-up from it. If the opponent's low health though, you don't have to worry about this as much. You more just want to look for your opportunity to force them to block it. In my opinion, I mean, if they get hit by it, that's just gravy, isn't it? Because that's the round 1. But it's a tool that you can use to enforce a 50-50. And okay, so if you're on low health, you've also got to think it's okay to do a risky low like that, because a lot of the time it becomes just as risky as doing a safer low when you're at low health. If a while standing forward is going to kill you regardless, what's the difference between doing a negative 20 low and a negative 12 low, negative 13 low, negative 12, there we go. So it all depends on the opponent and the life they have left, and how much you want to gamble with your comeback potential. For example, you could do a while standing 1+2. If they're expecting the low, you could get a wall splat from that. But if you just threw that out, you know, what's the point in throwing that out if they have very little life left, when you could just do a while standing 4 or just a while standing 1, or something that still gives you enough reward to beat the opponent without the risk of, if they block it, they could duck and launch you. So consider the situation, consider the risk and the reward involved, realizing that if you're using it to force a mix-up, you need to make it worth your while. So if you're doing something safe, then it's, you know, it's all relative to your life too and what you need to get. Okay, but what if we're not using this just to establish a mix-up? How do we get this to actually hit them? And there's a few different ways you can do this based on movement, based on patterns. Obviously, if you see someone going for a low, you can go over the low with this. And while it's a bit finicky, it can be a good option. So, for example, for me, what I might do, quite a lot, things like that. So I'll run up, if I see them twitch, I'll do that. Because, for one, if I've seen that twitch, I know whatever I do, it's going to beat whatever button they press. And if they're just standing up, then at least I'm forcing them into a 50-50. If they don't stand up and get hit by it anyway. So that's how I use it. I'll use it sort of in Oki. I've established what's going to happen, or I've established that they're doing something, and then I'll throw it out. Sometimes when I'm failing, I may not wait for the twitch, when tension's there, and I may just throw it out, and that comes with a lot more risk. That's not smart of me to do, because what if I do that? Suddenly I've whiffed a big move in front of them, I've wasted my comeback potential, and suddenly I'm negative. They can do what they want and beat me, really. So you really want to be doing that kind of thing based on what you see the opponent do. Don't just run up and press it, because it does not hit grounded and you could just be wasting it. And at the same time, I mean, if they're just doing like a side roll or something, so if they're just staying grounded from the side roll, then that can kind of bait you. So you don't want them to do. Well, you got to be careful. Okay, but let's look at potential elsewhere. So I mentioned forward 3, and that's because the comeback potential with forward 3 is pretty bananas. When you've got rage and you can do that. 117 damage just there. That's crazy, isn't it? So if you get a forward 3 on the opponent and you've got rage, be ready to do something dumb like that. I say dumb, but it's not dumb, it's incredible. And that's where that off-axis combo potential comes from. And you've got a few different ways you can do it too. It's not just off there, okay? But it's usually off counter hit launches, or it's not worth it. Whoops. Oh, come on. Maybe you don't do the down 2 there. Sorry guys, I don't do this combo often. No, you do. You definitely do the down 2 there, because you do it to rear line. Oops, sorry. You can do it off this too. You go boom, boom. A little bit more finicky. See? You do like a micro side step. Yeah. That was a bit off. It's a bit inconsistent, clearly. Or you can do it off. I think you do like side step right, down back 2. Hold on. Yeah, I think that's it. So you go dun, side step right, down back. No, come on, brain. Why'd I do it twice? Oh my god. Maybe you don't do side step right. Maybe you just do down back 2, side step right. Side walk right? Oh, I can't remember. I think it's side step right, side step right. Oh, I'm so rusty at this. This is more just combo video stuff though. Why am I doing that? Ah! Nah, you need a sidewalk. You need to do more. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The point is you use it for comeback potential. So, okay, if you're not establishing a mix-up, and you're not using it in a crazy off-axis combo for that insane damage, the next thing you're using it for is probably wall carry. And getting into the wall is, I mean, that's Nina's game, isn't it? That's a big part of her game. She's so much stronger at the wall. So let's go to Abandoned Temple. Where are we, Abandoned Temple? Oh, we're on you. Yay. So as I showed before in the properties, you can use it for greatly increased wall carry. So for example, we might do, and we get to the wall there, but if we go switch positions, wall, if we go here, oh wait, no, we'll do the same combo. Ah, my god. Yikes, why did that not hit? Too slow, tree. So you can see there, that's not getting them there. And if we do that, I mean, you can still see we're not really close, are we? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Ugh. This is good, this is my practice, you know, while recording. So we do that and we're a lot closer. So if we even come a fraction closer, god damn it, tree. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've got to the wall. So that's pretty incredible, isn't it? It's pretty incredible that you can use it for wall carry like that, and it's pretty easy to do. And then I also talked about the wall resplat. So you could do that. Oh god, come on. That. And then you could do more of that. You could do a sidestep and or a backdash and continue the combo. So it's got really good potential because it puts you in that awesome resplat position. Yeah. So it's really good for comeback potential and for wall combos. And as I said before, if you've already got that splat, don't use it again like that. You're just wasting it really. But what you could do, like that, to get that unscaled last hit, because I mean, if you compare it to 14 damage on the last hit, 30 damage on the last hit, so that's a very significant chunk. And if you're at the wall, I mean, that's going to end up doing more damage in total than doing her rage out or something. So that's a pretty good way to use it. Okay, and at the wall, one more thing, which will go away from the wall. One more thing I want to talk about is the pushback, the range. So there's no back walk. Okay, we'll go back dash. Oh no, we'll just record. Hold on, we'll record. That'll do. And then we can keep the settings as they are for the wall, and that's fine. So if I drop the thing I'm trying to do, now if I do Evil Mist there, and the opponent just holds back. Oh, damn it, okay. Don't you hate this recording system sometimes? It's because it's different recovery and properties on hit and block. Yeah, okay. Okay, we can't do that. So we're just going to set the AI to guard all backdash. And we're going to have to go away from the wall. So So they can just backdash, they can just hold back and miss to a whiff. So that's not not a valid option away from the wall in my opinion, unless they're neutral guarding. Which reminds me, if they just neutral guard, this breaks neutral guard. So the opponent needs to be holding back afterwards. Otherwise, they're just gonna eat these things. Anyway, we're going back to the wall. Keep it like that. At the wall, obviously, they've got no room to backdash, so you can get that. So Evil Mist becomes a lot more threatening there, which should also mean the opponent has more of a reason to duck. But obviously it's slow, so likely they'll be trying to look for that weird animation or do a fuzzy duck afterwards. And that's where you can start doing things like that instead. You cancel it and try and wall split in even safe ways. But yeah, like I said, just remember that doing that cancel is minus. So you've got to be cautious with using it. You've got to make sure they're respecting it because they can technically challenge you, and I believe you're at like minus 8, 7, 8, something like that. Yeah. Okay. I think that is everything I can think of to go with the Rage Drive. So let's turn off Rage and let's go back to the other stage. Alright. So, Nina's Rage Drive is pretty much a buffed version of her while running 1+2. Its input is forward 2+3, and forward 2+3 down forward goes into a unique dash, which she can do any move she could normally do from a quarter circle forward dash, but she can also cancel it, but this leaves her at frame disadvantage. It's very linear itself, but it can go over lows during some frames. Only certain frames. Some frames it can still be floated from lows, and it can still be countered launch because she does land just before the animation, a few frames before the animation, just like the while running 1+2. It can be input faster than while running 1+2 because it's a single input, single timing input, opposed to being forward 1+2. So it's just forward 2+3. It has very good range. And because it's plus on block, especially plus on block and close to them if you do the dash or the down forward, it's very good at creating mix-up opportunities, 50-50 opportunities. And because you're low life, hopefully the opponent's low life, so you can use it to establish a mix-up to finish the round. As well as that, its real feature is its comeback potential. So you can use it and deal a lot of damage. You can use it in combos, mid-combo, or to wall carry, and get insane damage with Nina. It's a great tool, and really anything that's max damage is probably going to involve this move, if not her Rage Art, of course. It does chip damage at the wall, so if they block it and they hit a wall, they still take 5 damage. What else can we say about it? It's just really it's used for comeback potential. That's my opinion. And it increases her wall carry to remain being some of the best in the game, letting her pretty much get wall to wall on any stage, depending on the launcher you use. How do you find her Rage Drive? How do you think it stacks up compared to other Rage Drives in the game? Do you use it the same way I do, or do you use it differently? Some people like to use it instantly just for that potential of a comeback, or just to get a mix up early on and give the opponent less opportunities to act accordingly and win. But I try and use it a little more sparingly, and I guess that's really up to the player and their playstyle. Anyway, please comment below and let me know. And as always, please like and subscribe, share this video around, let other people share the knowledge, and I hope to see you all next time. Thanks everyone.
You win.
What's done is done.